Hey, it's that thing that you didn't acknowledge happened before.
Did it acknowledge before?
I said it happened before during a concert that she was holding her like stomach,
Oh.
and that was like pregnancy motif sort of thing. And you're like, did that happen? I said, yes. Yes, it did. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Macross Frontier. I guess just as a heads up warning, I feel like it's been a month since the last time we watched any of it. So if we seem a little bit hazy or rusty about anything, that is why. Getting our feet back in the water.
I mean, it's a month for us, not a month for you.
Well, it depends. If you've, like, I don't know, recently dropped your Patreon description and now are just back on YouTube, it's probably like a couple of months. So,
Yeah.
it all depends. Anyway, before anything else, we had some comments to go through. First up, Shadow 4002 from Macross 7, the episode Virgin Bomber. Be patient, guys. Geppenlicht only acts when he has accounted for everything. For everything. They cannot make moves lightly without risking everything.
Sure, I guess.
Well, I mean, we saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can't guess. You've seen it.
I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil for people who are watching alongside with us, but
well, you can't. What do you mean? Spoil it for people who are watching alongside with it. You mean people who are watching both this on Patreon who have access to all of Macross 7 already by virtue of... Yeah, it's like, what do you understand that people watching it on YouTube, where this is still being released, aren't going to have access to this until this is released as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's early in the morning where I'm recording, so we're recording really. I don't. Yeah, it's just that I don't want to get ahead of my commentary that I already made on the videos, but I guess I am because a month later.
Because of how time works, yes.
Yeah. It just falls into they were trying to be so mysterious with Geppernick, and then at the end it was like, oh, so that was the plan. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, sure. And you figured it out like immediately anyway, so it's not even a big mystery. It was like, wow, they're being so precise about this stuff. Really? Sure. Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't
think. Look, he's more. He was more mysterious than he was. No, meticulous. Sorry, he is more mysterious than meticulous.
Yeah. I guess the problem I have is any comments that are like, "Oh no, don't worry about this is gonna be great." And I'm like, we already watched it. I already said my piece. And I really don't want to go back like, listen, guys, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but...
You got to swallow that medicine, man.
Yeah,
How many Macross Plus comments did we go through, even though I knew once literally, I just deleted a Macross Plus comment earlier today about, imagine watching a video and opening your mouth and trying to guess and making bad judgments about people and not understanding the show. It's like, well, fuck that guy. And if you somehow got this far hating on me and still watching the videos, hi guy who I just deleted your comment.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to be a smart ass in my comment
last
section.
Comments I've seen about Macross 7, I was like, oh, this is the part where it gets good. And I'm like remembering that part and going like, about that. That's the part where we went like, yeah, this went sideways.
Well, no, for me, the show doesn't go sideways until
nearly the end.
No. Well, I mean, the end is kind of like a poor footing because it's just like, oh, we left everybody on a, snowball. But then they're off of the snowball come the next content.
Yeah.
Really, I feel like Macross 7 really... Remember, I didn't have that big of a problem with Macross 7. Like, it didn't like... the grand plot didn't turn out to be so grand, and then some of these side characters are meaningless, like the duo. What are they called? Proto Devlin. Sorry, it's been forever.
Uh-huh.
It's been
Yeah.
forever, and there's a lot of words to remember.
Mhm.
Also, as I pointed out just the other day in my live stream, I'm trying to remember shit for like 11 shows, notes and boards and everything. I am
Yeah.
going over. But yeah, the double Proto Devlin, where all they did was teleport forward a couple of feet each
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Those guys,
Yeah.
pointless.
The twins, yeah.
But most of my problem came with after the show stuff, which didn't really add anything. And
Yeah.
but again, hindsight, I guess, is hindsight looking back at Kaepernick's plans. It's like, okay, but why didn't you just like go with Macross 5 when you had all that crew and left Macross 7 alone? Like you
I guess.
won already, is my point. And
Yeah.
then you kept fucking with Macross 7 because we had to make a show.
Which it literally led to the very thing that Kaepernick didn't want to do, was to be able to feed without destroying the galaxy. Well, eventually, I guess supposedly they would have destroyed the galaxy. Eventually, slowly but surely, right?
Well, assumedly, like they already did before.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, next up, Ilios Quadruple Zero from Across 7, Min May video. Here we go. Now this picks up. There was no ETA. It was get there when they get there kind of thing, along with finding suitable planet. So all the do you remember love parts in this episode were hand reanimated just from Across 7. 7 plus bunch adopted. Yeah, I don't get this guy either. It's like doesn't have any clue who Maylene's parents are. Heh, did you think you were going to get Macross show without my boyfriend as a pilot? You can't escape it. The idea here is that Mylene is starting to understand what Basara's goal is and why he does what he does. 12 and 13 start the real story.
Except, and I've seen that in several comments. It's like, oh yeah, people are understanding Basara. Except Basara never said anything. That was my frustration. Like,
Number one, remember? We did a poll. He's the number one.
Yeah. The way Macross 7 works, which I think I found very annoying, was that everyone and everything turns around to accommodate Basara's, right? It's like, oh, Basara is the chosen one. Let's invent stuff so he can use it. Everybody magically understands what Basara is up to. But Basara at no point goes like, listen, guys, not only do I want to sing, and I want everybody to hear it, but I do believe that my song will turn these people around, and we should all work together for this goal, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to sing, and I want to reach their hearts. I'm like, what? Yeah, that's what I want to do.
As the song says, love will change the world.
Yeah, it's like, but we're in a, you do understand that they're killing us, right, and taking us captive, and
to be fair, things people could have said to Min May.
Yeah, well, Min May was just she wasn't a combat pilot. She didn't go in a Valkyrie and started, dancing around. It's like,
one
oh,
could
you
argue
can't hit
Basara
me.
isn't a combat pilot either.
Yeah, well, you can't hit me. You can't hit me, kind of thing. It's like there was no depth to Basara, and when we finally got a backstory, it was like, I want to sing to move a mountain. Like, what? Yeah, that's what I wanted to do when I was a kid.
It's not a bad metaphor, really. You want to sing to move a mountain? I want to sing to prevent war. They're both equally impossible tasks.
But yet magically,
the mountain is the metaphor for stopping war. Yeah, I mean, it's
a very clumsy metaphor. Which, by the way, he fails at moving the mountain anyway. But yet he's willing. He can.
To be fair, we never go back to the mountain. It could have been moved. Well, I guess technically we do go back to the mountain, and that a news reporter goes back there, but we don't really know if that's the real place, because given that, what is her name? Ray's possible girlfriend.
Yeah. What's her? Yeah, I remember.
She's basically
Hakiko.
Akiko. She
Hakiko,
basically
yeah.
says the entire backstory thing might be false. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not a bad metaphor, even hindsight as well.
Yeah,
But
but
there's
it's like,
three
oh
main
yeah.
points of this comment that I want to go over. One,
Mhm.
well, actually, one's not part of the comment. One just occurred to me, and I didn't want to interrupt you before I did interrupt you. But again, number one voted in the polls. Everyone loves Basara. We're the only ones that seem to have a problem with him, in which case we have to ask, I guess, are we the assholes? If
Yes, and I
everybody,
have.
if everyone loves Basara, every
Yeah.
Macross fan loves Basara, or
Well,
maybe
everybody who went to that poll, we don't know the
no,
size
no,
sample
no, no. I'm
sizes.
saying Basara wins not just our polls. Like I've looked it up. Basara
Yeah.
is beloved across the community, which maybe means maybe we don't understand Macross as well as we hope we do. Again, if ever the whole community loves Basara, then maybe we're the outsiders, which means maybe it's not our thing. You know, it's like everybody who loves like a specific Gundam pilot, and then everybody. I guess Gundam's the weird thing out here, and that Gundam is more factionalized. It feels like you're with your show, and fuck that other guy. You know, I hate Setsuna. Kira's my guy. Oh, Jesus Yamato, the invincible Yamato. You know, like fuck that guy. You don't get that as much. That was like Ray
Oh, we don't have
Fokker, more
different.
like Ray Fucker. You know,
Well, we don't have different timelines, so I guess that's
I mean, it doesn't
everybody's.
matter. I'm just saying, you don't get that. I don't see anyway. I don't see that
Well, I've
factionalization in
seen some people
Macross.
because I've been into some other Macross fan, and mostly in Facebook, that not everybody is absolutely in love with Macross 7, right? But there is a strong love for it. But at the same time, I'm like, well, it wasn't for me. I mean, I gave it a shot, and I'm like,
All right.
and
Well,
also now,
second. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, seeing now what we're seeing in Frontier, in many ways in Frontier, they're like, yeah, what if we did the thing we tried to do in Macross 7, but better? I will wait until we're done with Frontier to whether or not they actually did that or not. I won't say
Well,
I
we know
like the
your
way he did
opinion.
it
You've
from.
already said you watched Frontier before and you loved it, and it's what got you into Macross. It's gonna be real hard for you to, clamp down that opinion already.
No, but I want to wait for
Genie's
you to
out of the
watch
bottle.
it to see, if we share the same view or not.
You already know
and
Zero's my
why.
favorite, and this thing has some Zero in it, so it's really hard
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. So there's that. But it's like, again, I felt that a lot was put on one character that everybody loves, but that character was so flat that I'm like,
Don't talk about Mylene that way.
I didn't say that about Molly. I like Mylene. I
That
like
character was
almost
so
every.
flat. Don't look at her that way.
I like. Oh Jesus Christ! I liked almost every character except Basara.
I mean, I would argue that Mylene was the secondary main character. Plus,
Yeah.
you have oh god, what was her name? The Proto Devlin chick.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
It's been a long time.
You
It was
also-
easier to get to. It was easier to remember names when we were doing this every week, but
Yeah, which also doesn't get a lot of lines. She only gets to make that. Oh my God, I'm about to come face.
are you kidding?
And-
She's got two different characters she has to voice. She has to voice that character and Flower Girl.
Flower Girl, yeah. Oh, don't
She's
remind
got
me about
double
Flower
the work
Girl.
of everybody else.
Yeah, yes. She would scream. She would talk about Basara, and then that's it.
Along with you also got Gamlin. Gamlin was one of the best pilots, I think.
Yes.
If I had to rank in terms of effectiveness and not just of character, I'd say he's fourth best.
I put Isamu as best. Overall skills.
Dyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm remembering that. Yeah, I say Dyson. Then oh shit, who's
Roy?
the other guy in? No, not Roy. Roy's probably my third.
Chin?
No, who?
Yeah, from Zero.
Oh, Shin. Sorry. No,
Yeah.
Shin was like a rookie. Shin is like one of my favorite characters. He's not. I'm not gonna put him down as a great pilot. He's wrecked 3 Valkyries in 5 episodes. Not good. He's the only one that rode a stone though. No, Roy's like my number 3. God, who was the other guy in Plus?
The Centrati guy.
Yeah, his memory, man, it's hard.
Yeah, I'm blanking out on.
Well, anyway, he's my number 2 probably.
Mm.
We've seen them both, and they both act at higher speeds. They've got better inputs with their fighters and everything. They're really good.
Yeah.
Roy is my 3rd because not of the Zentradi shit, but he has a record of kills during the UN anti-UN war, which is pretty fucking great. And then Gamlin is just fucking great because, you know, how many Proto-Devlin, well, also how many Proto-Devlin fighters did he take out constantly?
Quite a bit.
Dude's fighting in a super robot genre, essentially, and survived. Plus, you know, he wasn't Basara in that he was actually fighting.
Yeah. I mean, well, she got shot down by Max. Max would be probably up there as well. He was pretty effective.
Well, the problem with Max is that Max transitions from fighter pilot to commander. So that's why Max isn't in my top list of fighter pilots. Again, difference between best character and best fighter pilot.
Mm-hmm.
If I thought if this was like a duel, like who do I think would win? The Macross death battle, right?
Mm-hmm. Gould is the guy you're talking about. The Centrati guy.
I mean, I could bring up the board, but I don't want to do that until I bring up the board.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're still on point 1 of this comment. The second point, it wouldn't be a Macross show without my boyfriend as a pilot. Have we heard that here yet?
I do. Yes, we did. Because Ranka chose My Boyfriend as a Pilot to be the song that would represent her in the auditions in the Miss Macross 25 pageant. That's the song she.
Oh yeah, the weirdly named pageant because it wouldn't actually be the 25th one. The weirdness of that. Okay. And you got nothing to say about the Do You Remember Love parts being reanimated from Macross 7?
They were very well done. They almost which is interesting because I find the art style of Do You Remember Love to be superior to that of Macross 7, but they really put in the budget in that episode it looks very sharp, right? And they added a couple of more things, like they have the scene where Max and Millie are getting married, and they're both wearing, and you're gonna hate this, Centron, and they're wearing Meltron gear, like the undersuit they wear when they are piloting, which kind of hints that what happened with in the movie where it's Max that goes to the Meltron ship and then fights alongside Milia in the Kuala Rao power armor, as opposed to what happened in the original series where Milia goes to the Macross and then gets her own fighter, even though in Macross 7 she's flying the red Valkyrie that she had when she was part of the UN Spacey, so it's kind of confusing, but they chose that visual to represent as well. So
sorry, I spaced out there when you said something about a race that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
No, sorry, actually I did. I had like a thought and I stopped and I don't remember what it was anymore. You've mind wiped me. I legit started thinking about different continuities and the fact that movies within movies, and then what does actually play out there. And then I thought it'd be real funny if, right before you said that word, if I muted you and then fast forward you and put like text over your face that said he's speaking nonsense.
Okay.
No, I mean, really, I did have a thought. I just don't remember. So I guess moving on to the next comment. Shadow 4002 from Macross 7 Spiritual Farm. The Wraith reference is very good. They are more dangerous than the Wraith, When you truly see Giggle for what he is, you will realize that they have been playing games with the humans.
I mean, in a way, yes, but also the way Giggle went out was like, I am very angry. It's like, okay.
He wasn't like, I am very angry. Yeah. He was defending somebody.
Yeah. What's her name? Yeah, her. Very important character. I
She
completely
was
forgot.
actually a very important character.
Yeah, the character.
She took Basara on a trip through the universe, even though it's very implied that it's only the galaxy. It very much feels like they went through the entire universe, and that we see galaxies going by them.
And the only thing Basara was like, oh, I saw the galaxy. Like, and well, I saw it. Yes, you are in the galaxy, traveling through the galaxy. You're seeing the galaxy now. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, I mean, to be fair, we're not done seeing Basara yet, so assuming that Renka doesn't do a concert in front of a cardboard cutout of Firebomber.
Yeah. Oh, that's how important Firebomber ultimately was. You could have a cardboard cutouts of them. People were still chanting and raving about them. They're that good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that is pretty good. If people will buy tickets to cardboard cutouts of you playing music. Milli Vanilli couldn't get by with that. Milli Vanilli fucked up once on stage and they were done. Firebomber put a loudspeaker up with cardboard cutouts of them.
Not even a loudspeaker. They put a cheap boom box.
And people cheered for it. That's how
$80
good they are. You're like mocking them for people being dumb enough to do that. That's how fucking good they are. Number one, by the way. Remember? Not on polls, our polls. I'm talking about in universe. They're number one on the charts.
Yeah.
And people will buy tickets for their cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how good they are. I mean, you have to.
Or people are dumb. Either way, you know.
Yes. Well, if you're gonna say the people are dumb, that means the whole galaxy is dumb, which means everybody in the show is dumb. So all characters you like are dumb. Is that the the amount you want to take?
I still like them, even though they are dumb.
Okay. Like I said, when we start having this opinion when we have this opinion about stuff, maybe we're not the Macross fans we hope we are.
Rafita's still best girl, but still.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, who trumps her?
Sarah, for one.
No.
What do you mean, no? Sarah regenerates the woods. She's one with nature. She fucking sacrifices her life for what amounts to all of Earth, by the way. Vafita's won one martial arts tournament. What do you want?
What happens a year later?
What happens a year later? Which continuity?
The same continuity that Zero is in. Oh, I'm going to save the Earth. So try to show up. Well, about that.
So you're saying it's pointless to ever try and save it? So you're saying that... Hold on. So you're saying that 60-ish years before that, we shouldn't have intervened in Europe? Because 60-ish years later...
You know you're going to have to edit this out. Do not go there.
I didn't say a thing. A lot of shit happened in the world in 60 years. All I'm saying...
Careful with that one. You know you're going to have to...
Look, all I'm saying is you can't, take the... Well, you didn't have to do anything because a year later it wouldn't have mattered. Well, yeah, that'd mean all of human history then, right? Wouldn't have mattered. But I think also Sarah was the better character. One, she had infinitely more voice lines.
True.
I knew about her family. I knew what she was up to, what she cared about. She spent her free time helping people on the island.
Yeah, but you don't get what best girl means. You're talking about actual characterization and depth.
I'm talking about elements that would make a character the best of something.
I'm talking about, I look at Vafita's go, best girl. That's it. It's just, it's a thing.
Look, how about this? I've seen Sarah naked.
See that?
Here's the thing. I know what elements you're pulling Vafidis' best girl for. Sarah had nude scenes. How about that? What about you? How about
I
this?
don't need
Vafidis looks
I
different.
don't.
Vafidis looks different when animated from the front versus from the side. She looks like a weird, tall emo girl from the side. Amazon princess from the front. It doesn't pan out well.
Still best girl.
Inconsistently drawn. Look, you're saying
Well,
I
that's
don't
not her
understand
fault.
best girl because all I know is that you like her because she's like Amazonian. And then I'm saying
Yes,
that doesn't even pan out because when she's drawn sideways, she's not the same character anymore.
that's not her fault.
Well, all characters in this universe are dumb, apparently. So,
True. Well, at least
except for
those in Macross
Sarah,
7.
who fucking figured out Birdman, sacrificing her life or time traveling, depending on your, you know,
Oh yeah, we're
conception of
gonna do that
things.
again. Yeah, okay, sure.
Well, again, you mock it out of hand, but literally say it travels in time and space. Descriptors only given to the fucking TARDIS. So, I think I'm pretty good about this. Also, the fact that they haven't shown up anywhere.
Eh,
Well,
I
you
don't
fit.
expect them to show ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope. I would hope at some point.
Let them be. It's a good mystery. You don't have to solve every mystery.
And that was why you got kicked off the force.
So what?
I said that is why you got kicked off the force. Imagine that I am your your captain of the watch, and you're like reporting in about why the murders haven't been solved.
It's
You don't
not
have
a
to solve
murder.
every mystery.
It's not a murder. This is just a
That's why I said
narrative.
that's why you got kicked off the force. You're not a good detective. You don't have to solve every mystery. I want you to tell that to the families of the missing kids.
This went sideways so fast. I'm like, what the hell is this taking? Where do we go with this? Now we have dead kids, and what?
I don't know. You wanted to fight me about what best girl meant, so I don't know. I've gone off
Oh, you
on.
told me she wasn't, so I had to defend my best girl. That's
Yeah, well, like you said, Sarah's better.
eh.
Next up, RPGX-Omega from Macross 7 Fold Out. This episode at least started to show Mylene being capable. She was trying to confront the vampires directly, peace negotiation, then tried to doing the control system despite the danger, even having everything exploding around her.
I mean, Mylene is brave, and she is capable as a pilot. So much so that her parents go like, "Wow, yeah, she's our daughter," and right. She does have a kill list. She's probably an ace by the end of the series. That's how good your pilot is.
Well, it doesn't
When she
take many
doesn't,
kills to be an ace.
well, you have to survive long enough. And how people die in this series all over the place and don't hit anything. By the way, how many scenes is like, oh, the UN Spacey fighters go and they shoot, and they don't hit anything. Then Gamblin shows up and he hits everything. Like, well, unlike you, I can actually hit my targets.
Right, it just seems like in the parlance of the universe that we live in, that there should be something beyond ace.
Oh, double A's, triple A's, quadruple A's.
Right. I mean, but beyond that, though, like back in the
Ace of
day,
aces.
like getting 10 kills and coming back alive, oh, you're a fucking ace. But now we got people who are getting like 100 kills, 1,000 kills, not 1,000, hundreds of kills, right? Because we're in high tech technology where we're in the knights versus guns scenario, right? Where the protection hasn't equaled to the destructive capability that we hold. Well, up until the little shield things came up. But there was a good period in that where, just a couple of high caliber bullets will take your fighter down. Not to mention the arsenal of missiles available to every one of these things. So you have pilots out there who conceivably have hundreds of kills to their names. And it's like, what? I don't even know the words to say hundreds of times ace.
It's just be an ace. That's it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like
we need
World
words
War
beyond
II,
it. You're a
World War
super
II,
ultra ace now. What? Yeah.
no, I mean in World War II you had German pilots that had hundreds of kills and they were still aces. So it's not like somebody invented a new word for them
Yeah.
specifically.
Well, it either feels like you should lower, or I guess raise the bar for being an ace. Then you're an ace now because you've taken down 100 pilots and survived. Not because you killed 10, when 10 is now
Five,
like the barrier to entry.
five is the barrier.
I'm arbitrarily saying 10. I don't care what it
Okay.
really is. I'm never going to get in. Look, if you're a fighter pilot and you're incensed that I said an ace is 10, and because you've heard some guy on the internet during a Macross video, get your priorities together. Also, come fight me, cancer patient.
Wow. Wow.
Look,
Bye, bro.
well, one, I'm just saying it's worse than fighting just a random guy on the internet. Now you're presumably, military trained ace fighter pilot wants to beat up on someone who's probably gonna lose handily to you.
That's it. You heard it here first.
Not
Go
a good
fight me,
look.
bro. Go fight me, bro. I'm a cancer patient. Oh,
Not gonna look good for you is all I'm saying. Maybe keep it to the comment section. All right, last comment. RPGX-Omega from Across 7, Girl's Journey. Triangles are okay. Triangles are pretty common in Macross. So what you all say about Rei, Basara, and Rex is more likely. Also, Japan, back when this came out, had different rules about things, and this is a future concept based off of that time. Although I think where Basara was comparing Mylene to Gamlin, he is frustrated with Gamlin already, so the idea of Mylene is refusing to understand Basara, way despite them having an episode about it not too long ago where Mylene understands why, but the idea of Basara getting into that kind of aggression is hypocritical. Sometimes the episodes do seem out of order.
So again, but that ultimately is a problem of Basara not properly communicating. Okay, she got it the first time, but the situation continues. She's like, people are still dying, things are getting destroyed. I get that you want to save the world through singing, but it's not working. Get it together, right?
I mean, Love Will Change the World, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the best songs in Macross.
It's okay.
What is the best song in Macross? It's the best girl argument. Now we're just doing it for music. So, what is the best girl?
You haven't heard it yet.
Well, then, Love Will Change the World is the best song in Macross.
No, I think most of Macross Plus soundtrack is better than that. But then I like it and you hate it.
I didn't hear any music there, so.
Concept board time. So, new characters. Basically, all the new characters are Centrati. And at least one of them is dead.
Yeah, I guess you were not loaded at all, are you?
Yeah.
You're like hovering over a dead Centrati, which is the guy who died in the first episode, so no.
Ogatai, which I guess is their version of. Well, actually, they do explain it that because they're clones, patterns of behavior kind of repeat themselves as well, apparently, or tendencies.
They have never said that.
They said that in that episode.
Nope.
Yes, they did.
I watched it just last night while I was taking my notes. This isn't I haven't watched this in a month, and I'm sitting on notes I have no idea about. I watched all 3 last episodes last night. Literally less than 12 hours ago.
So Ogatag is
my worry is now that you've spoiled me for something that they're going to say.
It's this show's Krindak. And this other guy was this show's what's his name? I gotta go back all the way back up to 7. Kwamsing. I mean, they even look alike. They kind of make the same. So that's it. Because we don't get introduced to. Well, we don't get introduced to any new characters in the last 2 episodes that we watched. So
No, but I've been right about a bunch of stuff, which is represented on the board. Red lines and whatnot. I'm just seeing your cursor dance around, so I don't actually know if you're looking at or what.
I mean, what exactly do you think you're being right about?
Well, I have a whole notes section, so I don't want to, like... I would hope that maybe you would spot it on your own, but if you don't, it'll be in the notes section.
I mean, put it Brera Stern and Rankali as green lines.
He saved her.
Yeah, kind of.
What greater show of allyship do you have than having your life saved by another?
Yeah, but he's also an enemy of Alto, so...
Is he? He saved Alto, too, if you think about it. Technically also saved Luca, who is, an ally of Alto. So a friend of my friend is my enemy? I think you're influenced by future knowledge. Because conversely, I would say if I wasn't going to put a green line there, I'd put a blue line there.
I think blue would still be better than green.
Yeah, you are influenced by future knowledge because that's not something we've covered other than my theories.
Ranso is Alto's dad, and you have them with a blue line. I think they should be red.
Well, for one, that's not how we do it. It would be a blue line with a red arrow, if that was...
Yes.
But they don't interact with one another. They're antagonistic in the backstory. They have literally done nothing in the story.
Other than his father saying he's no longer my son.
So you're saying I should get rid of that blue line? Make it a white line.
I would say red line.
Well, again, he hasn't done anything. Not acknowledging you as my son doesn't make me your enemy. It makes me your nothing. Now,
it's
if I was like,
father, that's what it makes you.
Being a bad dad doesn't make me your enemy. I mean, it depends. There's degrees of being a bad dad. If he was like, you're no longer my son, and then sent lawyers after you for using my famous last name, then, ooh, red line, or red arrow, rather. But
yeah,
he's literally doing nothing other than, I have no son, which is nothing. Nothing else? No other commentary?
No.
All right, well, to notes then, which will cover parts of the board, so maybe don't be so speed demon about getting away from the board. At the very least, the Bird Human movie lets me know that the story of Shin and Sarah won't be forgotten. The bits of it that we saw also seemed accurate to what happened, minus Mao not being on the carrier, which is pretty good considering the alternative views of how SDF Macross went down in its in-universe movie and the show that we saw.
I mean, I guess it could have replicated the carrier scenes in a studio.
No, my point is that SDF Macross, which happens after Zero, gets remembered way differently than how it happened in the show, versus Zero, which happened further back in the past, but is pretty accurate to what happened.
I mean, because you don't have Do You Remember Love, an intervening movie.
Well, this is Do You Remember Love. Bird Human is Do You Remember Love. And the only thing that really changes is, well, I say Mao on the carrier. That's different. I guess also maybe the element of Sarah is a ghost, but not terribly different.
Sarah is a ghost?
in the scene where Shin is piloting his plane at the ground, we get like ghost hands going over
Oh
his
yeah,
hands.
yeah.
That's not what happened. So,
Yeah.
but it's not terribly different from telekinetic powers or whatever the bird human thing is using, or Birdman rather, is using to lift the plane up and carry it on. So, again, widely different between SDF Macross and Do You Remember Love versus minor differences between Bird Human and Zero. Oh, I also meant to bring this up during the comments, but I guess I forgot to at some point. Because you had mentioned, well, I guess when we were talking about them reanimating Do You Remember Love from Macross 7,
Yeah.
that I always thought it was interesting that the in-universe credits for the scenes that we saw of Birdhuman were given to the studio or the people that made Macross Zero.
Oh, nod to them, yeah.
Well, because they actually, there's like a little thank you thing in it to those people, but it's also actually JC Studios is like in the in-universe credits. Also, you know, because there's actual copyright involved, the copyright is 2007 on the bottom, so it's like, this is just the actual credits. I wonder who wrote Shin's biography, mostly due to the fact that we assumed that most characters from Across Zero died in Gold's attack on Earth. If anyone survived, I'd have to guess Edgar or Mao. I actually took a screenshot of the book that Rinka puts on the table and took it to Google Image Translation. The author's name, you have a guess?
Ow?
Nope. I'll even give you 3 guesses. You want to go 2 more?
Not Roy.
No, Roy died. Well, technically, yeah. But no, not Roy.
The captain of the carrier?
A character so important that you know his name, as do I. No. Well, I guess technically you're both wrong and right. The author's name is literally somebody. Somebody is what's written there. So, technically, could have been those people.
Yeah.
The text on the bottom of the book says Final Draft, Production, Sunshine People Production Committee. So, the long and short is I have no fucking idea. Somebody wrote that book.
Sunshine, Sunrise.
Could be a translation thing. Could actually be sunrise, but the translation says sunshine.
Yeah.
But somebody literally wrote that book.
Somebody had to.
Well, I don't know if they had to, but they did. So, Alto is or was a method actor. At least that's what he encouraged Renka to do via his father's advice.
I mean, he was a star at the time, especially playing female roles. So he had some inkling of what to do. I guess he went by, and we see his father is very much into method acting because the whole scene when he smacks the guy and they're like, "You're doing it wrong," you you got to get into character.
Well, I mean, his advice is basically don't think about it because it's God, I can't remember what it was because I wrote it down before and then I looked it up and then I erased it and it's like I don't. It's if you think about it being a flower, it won't be a flower. If you don't think about it being a flower, it will be. Something to that effect. He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of the Macross cast.
I drink your milkshake.
I drink it up. But no, I mean, yeah, he's method acting being a pilot. That's his current problem, is that he now doesn't know because the other dude put it in his head. I still don't get them saying that Stern's aircraft couldn't be unmanned due to its fast reaction time. The Ghost from Macross Plus was unmanned, and it went toe-to-toe with Dyson and Bowman, which easily seemed better than most pilots we've seen across a number of the shows.
It may well be that they have limiters or they don't have the same AI subroutine, so they can't react as quickly.
No, I'm just saying that they're saying that Stern's aircraft couldn't be unmanned because it's too fast, has too good reaction time, which was the whole fucking point of the unmanned fighter program. That it would be faster and have better reaction time than the
Yeah,
manned.
because you don't have to worry about a human body and their
No,
G's
no,
and
no. I
all that.
understand. You don't have to put that. I think everybody understands, which was
Yeah.
why it makes no sense that they say Stern's aircraft couldn't be unmanned because it's too fast, has too good reaction time. The things we're specifically tried to make unmanned fighter craft for. It makes no sense. That's my whole point.
What?
Yes, I have my nose is like super nasally today, which I probably hope it's coming across, but it's fucking me up every time I go to say something. Well, that in the back of my throat's all clogged up too, but they imply something is odd about Stern early in the episode via the report that a human body couldn't withstand the force and mobility of the plane, and then just give us the reason why before the episode is over, showing us that he is a cyborg. I guess I just got lucky having guessed that he would be already, though that was mostly based on the information we'd gotten on the galaxy and its high-tech advances, as well as Grace's illegal advancements. Suspecting that Stern would be from Galaxy and be some oddity like that just felt like the natural next step in development.
I mean, it also means that Grace is also a cyborg, but that goes without saying.
Well, we already know that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, more so, I think I've been right. I've been right about everything in the show so far.
But Cheryl is all natural, and she clearly told us.
I don't remember saying that.
There's because they're talking about augmentations and basically Alto hints at the fact that maybe she got breast augmentations, right? And she's like, nope, they're all natural. She goes, she does the running joke, running booby jokes that we have with her and Namase.
Nanase.
Nanase.
Well, we know what your
And
note
then
section's like.
Nanase also having the hots for Ranka while what's his name is in love with her. Weird romantic through line, I guess. Because Luca clearly has the hots for Nanase. And Nanase is just all over the moon when it comes to Ranka. So
I don't see as romantic.
could be both. I mean, they're young, all teenagers.
I mean,
so.
I know you've literally never brought up that Nanase has the hots for Ranka before, so this is your first time bringing that up. So the on-screen description that the Bridge Girls are reading, I didn't look up the real thing to remain unaware of if this got anything wrong. Sakura Hime Azuma Bonsho, the summary of Sakura Hime. Sakura Hime Azubansho is a story that draws the life of Sakura Hime, which is filled with troubles. The story starts from the scene of the double suicide by the priest Saigen and his young male assistant Shiragikumoru, so that they fulfill their love in heaven. However, only Saigen survives. After 17 years, Saigen, who becomes high priest of Shin Kiyomizu Temple, meets Sakura Hime of the Yoshida family. She comes to the temple to be a nun because of her misfortunes. Her father and brother were killed, her heirloom was lost, and her left hand does not open naturally. When Saigen, who pities Sakura Hime, recites the prayer to the Buddha, mysteriously her left hand opens, and the perfume box with the name of Saigen fell out. It is the one with which Shiragikumoru held when they attempted a double suicide.
So the priest and his assistant were lovers. They attempted double suicide, but the assistant survived.
No, the priest
And
survived.
then the priest survived, and then he falls in love with Sakura
Well,
Hime.
I'm assuming that they would fall in love after the bit that was written here,
Yeah,
because it's, it's like you're my former lover reincarnated, I guess is the idea. Because again, it's 17 years after the double suicide that
yeah.
he encounters her.
But why? What's the reason of the double suicide, though? Why would
To fulfill their love in heaven is all it's written here. And I don't know the
uh,
actual story. This is just what was written on the
yeah,
Macross um, quad.
screen? Yeah.
Quad? I don't know where they're at. They could be on base at the thing. It was what was
No, no,
written on
they're
screen in the show.
they're they're in the mini Macross. Yeah,
Right, but I don't know where they're at in the show when they're reading this. They could be
they're
somewhere.
the bridge of the mini Macross.
Well, I mean, they could be at the SMS base back at on
No. They were. I think
the
they were
frontier.
in the bridge. I think they were in the bridge, if I remember correctly. Because they're all standing looking at the screen, and they're you can see their stations behind them.
I don't have any idea who the blue-haired guy passing information to Leon could be. That they have information on the Vajra and Stern's Valkyrie seems to make it unlikely that they are with the Frontier or SMS in any way. For half a second, I stupidly thought about what Grace might look like with short hair, as that would be a connection between the earrings and someone that might possibly have outside information, i.e., information from Galaxy, but not tied to Stern or whoever he is with. Well, they had a feminine voice too, or somewhat
Yeah.
effeminate voice. I'm not sure what having hydras imported from Eden has to do with the horror of the Vajra, unless animal life on Eden is connected to the Vajra in some way. Either way, that's yet another connection to Macross Plus that isn't a character-based one. First, Gamlen's Tea, and now the Hydra.
I mean, it's not the only connection to past shows, of course. We
I'm not
had
including the fighter.
no, fighter bomb fight. What's his name? Let me just come on.
I said I'm not including the fighter. So whatever you're saying, I hope it isn't a fighter.
No. It's Oma. Because you put the white line over his second letter. Atma. The hell? Can't see it. Oma.
I hope you're not about to spoil something.
No. It's
No
literally when
character has been said to have come from Eden.
No, I'm not talking about Eden. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm talking about connection to other shows.
Well, what the fuck? Sorry, you almost made me spit up. Got me so angry all of a sudden. What the fuck are you talking about? This whole board is to connect shows to other shows. That's the whole fucking point. I mean, other shows are connected to other shows. I'm talking about specifically very little connects Macross Plus to other shows, which is why I call out the Eden connections all the time. Gamlen gets his tea from Eden, which is a show that this is a planet that only appears in Macross Plus. Hydra's coming from Eden connects Macross Plus to another show in that Macross Plus doesn't have any characters that connect it to other shows.
Yeah, but okay, never mind. It's a completely pointless point that I was going to raise.
That's what I'm saying, is the board exists to connect the shows together. And if you look, not one damn thing from Macross Plus attaches because no character is related to anybody here. We didn't get like somebody showing up, hey, by the way, my name's Edward Dyson, you know? Although I guess that guy would be responsible for Terminator, so he might be on the Galaxy.
Yeah. Isamu Dyson.
Isamu Dyson. Oh, no, sorry, you didn't understand me. I was making a joke about a character being related to somebody, so I was making up a name, Dyson, as though I'm related to Isamu Dyson. Because, if you look at the board, you have blue lines representing families that cross the span of the Macross centuries, I guess, whatever. And that's what I'm talking about being represented on the board. So no one is, like, sharing a last name. Like, Masao, the Masaos, their kid didn't appear in another show, even though they had a kid.
The big galaxy. I kind of like it that way because If everybody's related to everyone else, it makes it a very small galaxy
Worked for
indeed.
Star Wars.
And it got tiresome in Star Wars.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not watching the show for realism. I'm watching it for investment. And
But
it's
if you have
easier
new
to, it's
character,
like automatic investment with like, oh, I recognize that name. It's that one, there's a Wolf of Wall Street, that one gif of kind of funny thought. If Renka actually is a Name, like I keep thinking, then the singing power has dipped quite a ways over the years. Sarah's songs healed nature. Renka's only seems to piss it off.
if
I've literally been saying Renka is a Name since episode 1.
I say if,
Yeah. I don't know why you keep saying if. I said if.
that's it. That's the whole thing. If.
Yeah, sure. And if there was a shooter on the hill, JFK would be dead. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's the operational word. If.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Renka is a Name at this point. Not sure where Stern's cybernetic arm, I'm pretty sure I meant to say why. Not sure why Stern's cybernetic arm would make Renka think of the incident that caused her PTSD, unless the indication is that Stern is her brother and that she defaults into begging for him not to die. Especially finding out that Stern himself is trying to regain his past, it all too easily fits together. Which I guess makes Stern a Name as well. Look, I mean, I don't even know why you're like shrugging and smiling. I think I got pretty damning evidence here. It's I think actually the comment after my next one, but the whole getting into character from Mao and saying that she doesn't understand falling for someone her older sister likes and kissing him, once again, really making me think they are playing things exactly as they are. We know something happened to Cheryl's mother, and she's no longer here. Ranka could literally be her lost younger sister. If Stern is actually a brother and lost his memories, then why couldn't Cheryl or Ranka lose them too? As for Cheryl kissing Alto, there was a moment when she pulls back from him where her eyes are animated with a gloss to them, as though she had taken it seriously. I think it was only after too much time had passed, without any words being said, that she played it off as not a big deal to their previous discussion point.
I mean, I think she was a little hurt that he didn't say anything, so she deflected with that. So
Yeah, so sad. No other way in on the rest of it, though?
nope.
Okay. So the damning point. So, Ozma asks if it's fate that Ranka plays the role of Dr. Mao. Once again, a question that only makes sense if she is a Name. But also, Doctor? I guess she did survive the war. That or she's Doogie Howser, MD. For you kids out there, Doogie Howser was a role that Neil Patrick Harris played as a child doctor in adult situations, which would the joke then be that she didn't grow up and in fact died, but became a real quick doctor just before she had a year to get it done in.
And apparently also had a child.
Well, again, if she survived, then she could have had a kid. But then again, we also don't know the extended nature of the Name family. Because remember that we had a conversation about the fact that people were leaving the island to then go to war. So there could have been a male member of the Name family that left to go off to war, because we know it was mostly the men that left.
No, but we're not showing any evidence that there was a male, that there was father, mother, and the two daughters, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence.
Here we go again.
Did you not remember that your whole argument is just folk knowledge and or folk wisdom and not actually fact? There are evidence you can prove. What did I just say?
You said that there's a possibility.
Absence of evidence
then-
is not evidence of absence.
It certainly points that way.
It doesn't. Just because you have no knowledge that there wasn't a male, like maybe a brother figure or an uncle or whatever.
It would have been very important to point out, hey, by the way, this is what happened to our brother. Oh no, the guys just left.
No, it never literally came up. It was like, what, 2 days? They spent 2 days together. I'm sure he doesn't have the whole lineage of the Name family in 2 days. They barely even talked about her dad, the most significant male figure in her fucking life. So, in fact, I don't even know if she did talk about a dad. I know we saw it because she had internal monologue thoughts about it. So, yeah. So fucking what if she didn't bring up her brother? I also said uncle. You know, there could be, you know, her dad's brother may have gone off to the war and survived and had a whole family, and he would share the last name. So, again, there's no reason to think there could have been unnamed Nami bloodline out there. But again, more towards the first part where Ozma is like saying it's fate that she plays the role of Mao. It's pretty damning to suggest that she's a Name. Once again, I'm not looking for you to confirm, because obviously if you did, that would be spoilers. Although I think we're in the territory of, would that be a spoiler if you just agreed with me? Because I feel like that is the first actual thing the show is saying that, oh, this is true. It's either that or Ozma's fucking stupid. You know, you can use your words, right?
I mean, I don't have anything to say, so I don't say anything. The absence of my words is not.
By the way, that's the perfect way to come to a reaction channel where I literally need you to say stuff. Well, I got nothing good to say.
Well, okay. I mean, I would say hold on to that idea, and that's all I would say.
Which I've been doing for 12 episodes.
Oh, there's still how many episodes left? 25. So we're about halfway there. Yeah.
Like I said, I've been saying that Renka is a Name since episode 1. So literally, if Ozma's like, oh, it's fate that she played Dr. Mao, because they're both the same height. No, like, fuck off, Ozma. What the fuck, man? I had mentioned before if the Vajra were infectious to humans in some way, due to concerns over Renka and all the blood drawing that they did as separate concerns. I'm not talking about both of those at the same time. But now the Hydras are infected by something that the president doesn't think is infectious to humans. And the person who specifically asked about the Hydras while passing along info about the Vajra mentioned in a warning, it all seems rather connected.
Certainly does seem rather connected.
Right, implying that I was right about another thing 4 episodes in, basically. I'm doing the Macross 7 shit on this show, where everything I'm saying early on turns out to just be right. In which case, it's just like, am I just good at guessing, or are these shows not as deep thought as I think they are?
Well,
or, in fact, am I watching a show designed to be watched by 14-year-olds as a 40-ish-old man, and just being too proud of myself? You know, I bet that Sylvester's never going to catch that Tweety bird. I'm pretty smart. Renka is like the reverse Min-Mei. Sorry, I misread my own comment. The busier she gets, the more time she tries to spend with Alto. In the same way, Alto is like the inverse Hikaru, in that he seems to do his best to avoid Renka whenever anything comes up that he could be doing something else. Alto has to weigh the option of Cheryl giving him what he wants, an endless sky, or meeting with Renka in the park. So he blows off Renka by sending someone else in his place, which seems like a real dick move, instead of calling her and just having an uncomfortable conversation.
They are teenagers. So, yeah.
That's
kind of fake.
An excuse that you've made 1,000,000 times across all of Macross so far.
It's not an excuse, and it's an explanation. He should have done that. He should have called her and be a man about it.
Do you know the difference between an explanation and an excuse is? An explanation is an an excuse is an explanation that I just don't buy.
Okay. Well, I would say the difference is that an excuse actually does
Sorry, can you say it for me one more time, but also push up the bridge of your nose?
actually uh um actually it explains and puts you on the side of the person making the excuse, like gives you
Oh,
understanding
is
in a
that
way
why
of
everyone
like,
who's typically hearing excuses always says, no more excuses? Because they're on the side
oh,
of the person giving the excuse.
well, they say that because they don't buy the excuse.
Oh, that's like what I just said.
But I'm not using it to justify his actions in the way that he is reasonable or you should side with him.
Well, I feel
I'm
like you're
trying
saying
to,
it in the way that you expected me to be like, oh, right, teenager. Right? Like I
I
fucking
want
care that he's a
it's a
teenager.
it's a context. I want to add the context to it. He should have done that. He should have stepped up and talked to her and say, listen, I'm going to do this. Also, because it's very important to, the whole thing that there's a situation that he got orders to do. So, yeah. Uh, rather than like, I'm going to send Luca to just talk to her because, I don't know how to
Wrong
deal with
guy.
this. Was it Michael?
Mikael.
There you go. It's Michael. Yeah.
Well, as a Michael, I can tell you, I do not respond to Mikael, regardless of what language you say my name in. That's not a Michael. That's a Mikael.
Okay. Anyway, Mikhail, he sends him to do that, But I almost feel like he did it more because he had Mikhail actually. Mikhail should have turned around and was like, "No, you do it." But he kind of felt pity for Ranka, so I was like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it."
I still think the concept of an endless sky is pretty fucking dumb. This isn't even a note that's still attached to this thing. Space is the endless sky. He's like, it's too stifling in here, the big space station that I can fly in. Well, let me give you the endless sky. Bitch, you were flying out in space fighting things the other day. There's no ceiling to space. Literally, I guess in your concept, the ceiling to space would be the endless sky that you want to fly in. You run into a ceiling. I'm standing on the roof of an endless abyss. Words, man.
I
Use your
mean,
words.
I think he wants to fly in atmosphere, right? To be like a traditional pilot, if you will. I think that's his dream.
It's still more limiting than what you're already doing. It just doesn't make sense. The endless sky concept. Once again, a planet is more limiting because eventually, you're going to hit the limit of that sky, that planetary sky, and you're going to be back in space. The limitless sky. It's just, I mean, I guess it's more upsetting for me because he basically sells out Renka for the entire concept of it.
I think also he also wanted to go with Cheryl.
I would hope that it's more an element of getting what he wants as a long-term desire because we focused more on the idea of his, like, we get the sepia tone flashbacks of him throwing paper airplanes as a
Yeah.
child, so it's a more of a longer term desire than it is any infatuation that he may or may not have with Cheryl. So I would hope it was more of an element of that at play than I'm picking this girl over that girl.
It could be both.
I mean, I'd hope not. The triangle then would just become a line. I made a comment before about accusing Grace of messing with Elmo's websites as a means of slowing down Rinka's career path as per Grace's ability and desire as a manager. But now I think it is even more clear that is what is going on. I believe she is preventing all those texts Rinka sent Alto from arriving, as she knows that getting Alto to go with Cheryl to Gallia 4 would increase the likelihood of Cheryl not backing out of the commitment. along with other tacts she takes, like telling her that survivors of Galaxy might be on Gallia 4.
Which we know is an abject lie because it's a military base full of Centrati. They would have noticed there were more microns. Yeah, they're all full size Centrati. We don't see any micronized Centrati, do we? I remember correctly.
I don't remember. I don't remember seeing
Yeah.
any.
Yeah, no, they're all full size Centrati.
Well, yeah, there's
They
the
have,
element of the fact that they're holding them in a building, which is micron sized, and we only see the large Zentradi on the outside, but conceivably they're keeping them in there somehow beyond just two giants outside.
and
And
their
they had the
guns.
building for someone, so
I mean, it could have been that the base was originally constructed by the UN Spacey. So they would have, as part of the construction, some micronized building so that micronized, uh, either micronized Centrati or just microns in general, I humans and the like, could interact with the Centrati. Otherwise, you know.
I didn't write it here in the note, and I don't think I have it anywhere else in my notes, but I also want to add on, I'm pretty sure she's poisoning her. I don't think she's sick. I think her medicine is actually poison. We had argued about what was said about Gallia 4 before, and I cannot remember who said what about it. So just as a recap, it is the base of the 33rd Naval Fleet, which is all Centrati. It has an atmosphere. It orbits a red giant that it shares a rotation with, so the same side always faces the red giant. Due to that rotation, there is a large temperature difference between day and night. Lucas says that means its environment is not suitable for living, but it has a breathable atmosphere. Earlier in the episode, in a conversation between Leon and Catherine, they also suggest that Mr. Bryler suggested taking extra precautions with that planet.
I mean, here's the thing. In a situation where you're always facing one side, the side that has always the sun would be, would be pretty violent because eventually all that heat in those oceans, etc., would create hurricanes and all kinds of things. So, and on the other side would be freezing like a snowball because it never faces the sun. So,
I mean, all I can go with is fantasy. I don't actually know the science of it. And I know fantasy, if you
yeah,
do worlds like this, you have one side being a desert and the other side being a frozen wasteland, and the habitable
yeah,
ring would be
the middle, yeah,
I would say an equator, but I guess technically it is an equator between different zones, but that would be the habitable ring of space between the two.
yeah.
I know specific. I think the argument that we had was that I was leaning entirely on what Lucas' statement of it not being suitable for living, but I don't remember what the actual argument we were having was.
Because they also mentioned the fact that another planet didn't have a breathable atmosphere, and that was a confusion.
Well, that's the thing, is that I again rewatched the whole thing. They don't talk about any other planets, so the entire argument was based on Gallia 4. That's why I've just listed everything. So if neither of us remembers what the argument was, I just remember Lucas' statement being the main thing for me, but I don't remember what I was arguing for or against. So those are all of the facts. Luca is the youngest son of the family that owns LAI, a big company that makes everything from micro machines to fold engines. Leon was talking to someone about LAI, specifically about design specifications sent to them, and assuring him that Cheryl will be going to Gallia 4. Shown to be Grace at the end of the episode, I think vindicating me for all the theorizing I've done about her being behind the manipulations done up to this point. Just another check mark in the column of Theta's always right.
Okay.
I was right about everything in Macross 7.
Uh,
This is the show right after Macross 7, and I continue to call on it. I'd be guessing that the little green creature... Sorry, I don't know why I wrote down I've been guessing that the little green creature was a baby Vajra before, and now it's an unknown creature according to the girls, So I think I was on the right track from the get-go on that one as well.
How big is it? Because those eggs in that ship were
It's
pretty big.
literally as big as her phone.
Yeah.
She could, and I probably, if this was more comedy oriented, imagine that she's going to pretend it's her phone at some point. I think that's the only point of having a phone that's literally a little creature for some reason.
Like a frog, I think. If that's what it's
It
supposed to
looks
be.
like one of those stress toys where you squeeze one end and like the bits come out the top and bottom, but a
Yeah.
phone. Last episode, Lucas got a LAI fold engine. Sorry, Luca, right? It's Luca?
Luca. Luca.
Yeah, I wrote Lucas for some reason. I think this is when I was getting up 2 a.m. when I was writing shit down. Last episode, Luca got a LAI fold engine that can make super jumps. And I wonder if maybe if that was the design thing that Leon had been talking about before.
Could be. I mean, we now see, for example, that those engines can be reused because
They
when
do the Star Wars thing. The Star Wars
yeah,
Jedi Starfighter trick where
there you
they
go.
have the
Yeah.
ring.
Yeah. So it reassembles itself in remains in orbit. So it could go back, pick it up, and go back
Well, I
out
mean,
again.
that's literally what Mikhail said to Alto. You take her back so you can get to the concert, her first performance, and then indicates up as though he's looking at the thing that the camera then pans up to see. It seems fairly obvious that Grace is working with the rogues and Trotty. The call their leader got seemed all too familiar in tone from the start, and she's the only one that would know that Alto had made a break for it. Meaning all of this is a part of her greater plan in some way, by which I can only imagine having a rogues and Trotty warship with reaction weaponry handy would be of some use to her or her masters.
Help also a warship hell bent on killing things and fighting. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't seem like that's the important part. It
I
seems
mean, it's
like that
important.
they want a ship with nukes somewhere eventually. Last episode really just felt like they were trying to push either racism or non-forgiveness back into the picture after how well we've seen integration working on Frontier. I mean, President Glass even called them those Centrati, and Leon had to remind him that you can't say things like that. Reminds me of Macross 7 when the UN forces gave the order to destroy rogue Centrati fleets, no matter what, and refused to allow even talking with them.
I mean, it's more like an instead of pushing it back, I think it's more of an ongoing thing, right? That even though supposedly the Centrati and the humanity have integrated as they have, there's still that resentment, particularly on the fact that A, Centrati is still alien to humans, and B, they kind of killed millions of people when they went to war. So yeah,
Well, that's why I
it's
said
a lingering.
non-forgiveness.
Yeah,
But again, I think that can also not create the racism element. You can be racist against the people that did something to you. And you know, it's not for nothing, but even the Centrati of this episode are like, we're born to fight. And you say, all those people do is fight. Like, and then just across the street, there's a Centrati going, I'm born to fight. You know, it's like, is it
but not all of
racism
them
if
want.
it really we're both saying the same thing?
But not all of them wanted to fight. That was kind of the point.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we even remember. Sorry, I keep remembering back to God. What was the name? Start with the G.
Hamlin?
Nope, Gamlin was not a Centrati. Gould.
Cool.
Gould and his medicine that he took not to want to fight.
Yeah, I think that part was yeah. In
Yeah, I
retrospect,
mean,
was
I know it's not the whole race thing, but it really felt. The thing is that it's like the first thing after. So it felt like they were using that as like a thing that they were going to do. The Centrati are this way, and that we're going to use medication to dull it down so they can be more like us. And then somebody thought, this is probably a bad idea. Maybe it's just that guy. Maybe that guy needs that. Everybody else, though, We don't need to, like, for the rest of time, every time we want a Centrati main character, have to have them take pills every day.
But going back to Macross 7, we do know that Entrati were particularly vulnerable to the machinations of the the Proto Delvin, because Proto Delvin could excite them into being angry and all that.
Well, that's different, though. They're an extra dimensional creature with, unknown powers.
But the fact that the Entrati had that particular vulnerability, well,
Well,
we don't
yeah,
see
but I
regular.
mean, going up the board here, I don't remember if you left the board yet or not. I mean, we have the interconnected nature of all of these different species already. Where specifically the Proto-Devlin controlled the evil, but I don't see it represented here, so maybe I've already gotten rid of the theory that I thought the Proto-Devlin were in control of the Supervision Army. I thought I had that up here. Oh, here. Sorry. I'm seeing now the difference where we found out that the evil was different from the Supervision Army and that they took over the evil, which is why I have the white-green line connecting them to the evil. Huh. I guess I don't connect them to the Supervision Army at all, to my last theory. I guess I'm gonna have to side with past me on this one, because I don't know what current me, is remembering. I guess that implies that the Vajra never encountered the Proto-Devlin. And the Zolan never fucking leave their own planet.
I mean, it's a big galaxy.
Not really.
I mean, not really.
Last episode, not really. The new full device will shrink the galaxy to 1/10 of its current size. You'll be able to get to the other side of the galaxy in like a week. It'll literally be Star Wars size now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not as big as you think.
I mean, there'll still be a lot of planets and places to visit and all that. Just because you can get to a known point very quickly doesn't mean that will necessarily. Well, I guess it makes more places accessible, but it will take still time to explore them and even
The
colonize them. If
example I
that's
feel like
possible.
you're giving here is the mall has a lot of shops, but they've added a trolley.
Yes.
Yeah, there's still a lot of places to go, but we will get there faster. It's not as big as it used to be. Grandma couldn't make it down to J.C. Penney with her bad leg, but now that she's got the trolley, she's going there every week. In this example, Grandma would be Macross 7, and J.C. Penney, I guess, would be the Galactic Center. We don't actually know where they're going. They're just going towards the Galactic Center.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, to say the trolley would now be the ship that gets there before Macross 7 does.
Well, okay, that just breaks down completely. That doesn't,
I mean, it doesn't break down. It just what it does break down is the pointlessness of the fleets.
Not really. You still have to move people to places.
Yeah, but what you can do, call them all back, overhaul them so that they become, instead of generational ships, real large starliners. Because now it's not like we have to make it so an entire generation of people will get there eventually to a place we don't really know of. Now it's, hey, this thing can hold like 1,000 people. You want to migrate in a week?
I mean, you can still overhaul them because those fleets have factories in them. So I guess you could eventually overhaul them as they go.
Yeah, I'm just saying that they've become pointless to their original design. They're not like, it's like if we were doing like Voyager, right? Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Where we're just wandering through trying to get back home or something, but I guess we're Voyager in reverse. Battlestar Galactica. We're not like Battlestar Galacticaing it with no plan. Well, we're not doing that anymore. We're just going where we need to go. And now the Galactica is just a giant fucking bus. My point mostly is the element of future shows or future what do we do from here, right? If we're shrinking the galaxy down by a tenth of the size, then one, we're just going to encounter every fucking thing faster.
Yeah.
But also, we're moving away from exploration, right? We've already got those fucking ghost things. Put the 10-time fold thing on those. Boom. Find everything. Just send them out. Explore. Send information back. Worst thing we get, we've already got the Vajra. Now we'll have V'ger as well.
Nearly did.
Well, I mean, technically no. Sharon Apple wouldn't have been V'ger.
No.
She didn't want to merge with her creator. Well, did she?
Yeah, it kind of did.
Well, she didn't want to merge with her creator. She wanted to merge with her creator's
boyfriend. Yeah.
But still, I mean, God, I'm upset they didn't. Not upset. I'm just sad they didn't do anything with Sharon Apple. She was like the only. She was more of a different type of villain in the show than any other thing that we got. And I would kind of wish, like, I don't know, like the ghost didn't get destroyed and just ran off with like Sharon Apple's core. So just somewhere out there, there's just like a rogue AI.
Yeah, but everybody running away at the end of every series just gets tiresome too.
Well, nobody's run away in Macross. This would have been the first one.
I mean, no, because that's how SDF 1, well, 0 ended with people running away. They just disappeared. Macross, original Macross, they went and disappeared.
Okay, well, here's the thing. 0, there was no enemy that ran away. She was controlling the thing. She's one of us. She flew away. Also, probably dying of radiation sickness. So, no one actually ran away from Macross 0. They flew off, but they weren't the villains. So, and then next is Plus. So she would have been the first. Sorry, not next Plus. SDF Macross. Nobody flew away. Again, you're pointing out the good guys flying away from things.
I said people flying away. I didn't say specifically villains flying away. That's a decision.
Well, I don't think you can count flying away to explore or settle or whatever. That's not flying away. That's should have been the setup for SDF Macross 2. The follow-up show. In a normal parlance, we would have been seeing them grow up and then settling a new world. They would have been doing the Macross 7 thing, but with all the characters we know, except for Max, for some reason, decided to stay behind with his wife. We left those guys behind. It would have been the reverse of what we got. No, it would have been Plus would have been the first bad guy to have run away. Technically, would have been the first anyone to run away. No one else has run away. Well, I think that's everything. You ready to go ahead and get into this?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Picking up right where we left.
And of course, she sang on the planet, so of course nature is pissed. Again, you're being poisoned. Imagine living in a world where the power goes out and you automatically think you're attacked. I guess that's a world where the power company doesn't control you. So the most important thing I pulled from that is that Stern wears glasses.
Oh, used to.
Well, yeah, conceivably he's got cyborg eyes now. And I guess you would point out that Cheryl wasn't in those shots. But then again, I guess I would respond to that since I'm holding the entire conversation in my hands now. Is that the absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence.
Yes.
In which you would
But at some
point out some folksy wisdom thing, and I would say...
But at some point... No, wait. There is a limit to that as well, because then everything is real unless proven wrong, as opposed to it's not real until you prove
here's
it
the
right.
problem with the way that you automatically take that, is that not everything is real. Everything is possible. I need evidence that things aren't possible, otherwise I will think they're possible. One, that's just the nature of reality, right? You have to write down every fucking thing that's not possible. That's how we know what is possible. But also, it's the nature of a narrative. I only know how many family members you have by you telling me how many family members you have.
But why would you jump to the conclusion?
That's how
without any
sitcoms
evidence?
work, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my cousin Ted. Oh, you didn't tell me you had a cousin Ted. I know. That's the way things work. I don't live in this world. I need you to tell me, person in the world.
ちっちゃい頃の記憶がないって話したよね。どんなに頑張っても思い出せないくせに、時々勝手に出てきて今みたいになるの。
ディソシエイティブアムネジア、乖離性健忘。外傷後ストレス障害等をきっかけに、特定の体験の追想が不可能になる。
つまりは一種の記憶障害さ。
Right, that scene where he said he'd tell her about it and
思
didn't.
い出さないでいいことだから忘れてるんだろ。
そうなのかな。
ああ、過去なんかに縛られるのは時間の無駄さ。またか。
Alto is not really good at handling dementia patients. You don't remember your grandkids? Probably wasn't important. Don't let the past tie you down.
心配するな。後方系が全部ホワイトアウトしているだけで壊れたわけじゃない。
Wiped out.
おそらく強力なジャミングを受けて。
ジャミング？
It's a depulse if I had any suspect about it.
原因かもしれない。
誰かいるのかな、あの船。
わからん。サボタージュのせいでこの辺りの調査は進んでないしな。
それにしても暑いね。
Yeah, it's almost like the sun constantly faces this side of the planet. Some might say, not suitable for living.
I mean, there's plenty of life here, though.
But is that really living?
軌道上のフォールドバックはまだ使用された形跡がないとさ。
それって
アルトたちはこの惑星上であのディーパルスバーストを受けたことになる。
So Cheryl suspects she's getting poisoned?
悪くすれば。
It's either
Or
that
maybe
pills
she
on the
does-
floor because she's spitting them out and not taking them, or it's their...
Witchcraft.
Okay, that's weird. I was gonna say it's either that or it's there specifically from Michael to find, to test, to prove that she's being poisoned.
どうした？チェックはしたぞ。飲まなきゃ安全だ。
ただ初めて会った時みたいだなって。
水をかぶったのはそっちだろ。
Sorry. You were the one that got drenched. Alto, you ladies, man.
びっくり箱みたいなやつだよな。会ったばかりの頃は私なんかって言ってたくせに、臆病なんだか大胆なんだか、いい心臓してるぜほんと。
でもそれ
She's so shocked her nose disappeared.
比べて私が少しでも勇気が持てるようになったとしたら、それはアルト君のおかげだよ。アルト君がいたから つも私を守ってくれて、迷った時には背中を押してくれて、だから。
Huh. Alien butterflies.
A cute little thing. Okay, here's where it gets silly.
とにかく時間が惜しい。とっとと戻ってあの船を調べるぞ。準備はいいか？安心しろよ。ライブには絶対間に合わせてやるから。
ありがとう。でもちょっとだけ
Does she have her pet with her?
どうした？
それは。
何
Go to her
わから
bathroom.
ないんだ。どうしてもって言うなら俺も。
ダメ！絶対！バカ！
Okay.
たく、トイレならトイレと。なんか
Again, this episode's called, was it Memories of Global?
アルト順位がランカさんを
Yeah.
連れて離陸したっていう知らせを最後に。
It's like fighting Mary Millie all over again.
何か事実確認の方法はないのか？そうだ、ミシェルが使った新型フォールドパクトやるわ。無理だな。あれはかなりの無茶だ。ルカにとっても。二度目はない。
Why not? He's literally part of the family.
ルカ・アンジェローニ君。
LAI の技術開発部特別顧問として最善と判断しました。僕が SMS にいるのはあなた方新統合軍ではできない新型機や兵器の実験データ収集と性能評価試験をするため。今回の件もその裁量においてのことです。
なるほど。友達思いだね、君は。だが、その友情が民間人の少女を事件に巻き込み、さらには LAI と政府の関係も脅かしている。それについては？
So what?
I mean, he's risking the future of his company if they don't get more
I
contracts.
think you're
from
right the first
government.
time. Technically, I think it's his father's company. It's that or his brother's company.
Yeah,
He is the youngest child.
yeah.
お前も心配。そうだよね。
I mean, more so the so what was towards the frontier.
止めても無駄よ。
It's one government.
だったし、昨日までの不調が嘘みたいよ。
だろうね。ちなみに、この子とグレイスは？
チクったら殺すわよ。そのなんとかバーストの対策はしたんでしょ？それでも怖いなら待ってなさい。学校で習って私だって操縦できるんだからね。
女の意地？
私はね、できることがあるのにやらないのは大嫌いなの。
I guess in our current state of things, all these fleets are like city-states now.
Yeah.
Which probably explains the whole breakdown of civilian government into the new government that we have.
Oh, it's named the Global.
グローバル？第117調査船団の機関ってまさか。
今から11年前に起きた第117調査船団の遭難事件は知っているな。
Oh, no wonder it's giving you flashbacks. It's literally the one, apparently.
That's the flagship anyway.
なんか。
Is So I guess the glowing thing underneath it would be the Vajra.
あの娘がネストに微弱なフォールド波を確認。パターンは合致した。よろしい。指令順位を変更。ランカリーの確保を第2位に。ただし、当初の作戦目的が阻まれる場合は。
They're using her brother to capture her sister?
あの娘は観察対象ではあるが、まだ仮説としての存在に過ぎない。この先、価値が証明されれば別だが、最優先ではない。私はこれからディメンションイーターの起動準備に入る。
Cool name.
了解。
Cyberse can just do fucking anything, I guess. Oh, the name of the ship is Dimension Eater.
ランカ、聞こえたら応答してくれ。ランカ。
応答なしか。
And how else would you know that a child was in danger if you didn't, like, have a doll?
ここは研究室。消されてる。しかもごく最近に。あ、バジラの標本。なんでこんなところに。
Which looks like a larger version of that one we just saw outside.
なんか。
Way to go. Didn't even have enough time to try and make it out. The broken image part, I meant. So wait, were you taking pictures for your own butt?
なぜ気になる。あの娘。
So why else would the camera have been back there?
この歌大好き。ねえ、地球の歌なの？違うわ。この歌はね。
You can't do that in anime. You should stop doing that in anime. There's no chance I'm gonna read the lips and try to figure out what they said.
Yeah.
Good news is I don't have to go to the bathroom anymore.
なんなのここ。
こいつ一体どこまで続いて。縦穴？深いな。なんか無事か？
アルト君。
今どこにいるんだ？
なんか広い洞窟みたいなとこで。
If you see any giant eggs, don't put your face over them.
この下420メートル。なんか今から行くぞ。そこ動くなよ。
ありがとうアルト君。
なんか。
I mean, it literally put you on a pedestal. I can't think you're in any danger, really. Well, now you might be, though. You pissed it off. So is Renka both a Name and a Vajra?
Again, I don't think we have enough information.
Well, the absence of information doesn't cause me to stop theorizing about stuff. I didn't get fired from my detective job. You have a gun. Shoot the top of the bubble. Hey, it's that thing that you didn't acknowledge happened before.
Did it acknowledge before?
I said it happened before during a concert that she was holding her like stomach.
Oh.
And that was like pregnancy motif sort of thing. And you're like, did that happen? I said, yes. Yes, it did. This is the second time she's glowed from the midsection.
Macrossが
I'm sorry, holographic technology too, huh? Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Obviously, that's from the concert.
が消えたいける
Yeah, bye-bye global. I mean, you've literally seen a Vajra battleship before. What the hell is that thing, though? Sorry, I was being flippant for a second, then I was like right there with the character. What are those things?
That's a Cobra maneuver. Didn't work.
貴様はあの娘にふさわしくない。
I say Michael's still here. Cheryl's about to pilot, apparently too.
お前たちランカちゃんもそこにいるのかさらわれた
さらわれた
お前らの右後ろの一番でかい船になんだあのデカブツはバジラの母艦だ俺はこっちのバルキリーの相手をする
I mean, the big one's a Vajra mothership, but what are the little ones?
Or Roger ships, apparently.
They look like built ships, not like biologicals.
あんたは死んでもそいつの足を止めてなさい
いい女だね惚れちゃいそう
I have
そいつは勘弁よしこっちも早く決着つけてまずい
ショーダウン
タイムアップだディメンションイーターを起爆させる
But I'm not really sure what your ploy was with the whole rebellion.
銀河の妖精の死と先遣隊の壊滅憎しみは燃え上がる
I guess just to make sure it stayed there.
コールド通信波は彼らを知るで健闘を祈るわねフロンティアの皆さん
And she's fucking up fold space now? Is that the plan? That phrase still doesn't mean anything to me.
嘘だろなんなの一体あれだ
星が飲み込まれていく。くそ。くそー。
I'm sorry, did the Vajra fleet get out of there?
Apparently.
Nope, they're right there. Okay. Man, they're about to fold. So wasn't the new default device just right over there too?
Apparently.
Well, no, it was right above the base, and she activated it right next to the base. So conceivably, the new full device should be eaten up as well.
So they're stuck there.
Well, except for that Luca is trying to get the other full device back from the corporation, so conceivably he could get there. Yeah, I don't know. Not actually certain what Grace's plan actually is. Like, why would you want to capture Renka if your plan was to self-destruct?
Yeah, but she didn't want to capture herself. She told, what's his name, to get out of there.
Yeah, no, so yeah, but I'm saying, she said capturing Renka is secondary now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But why would you want to capture her if you were going to self-destruct? Again, I know the players and I know who's on whose side and who has machinations now, but I don't know what the greater plot is. Like, we're back at Macross 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I know these guys are with these people, this is what they're trying to do, this is what the miniature bits are. But I don't know what the spiritual farm is.
Yeah.
フロンティア船団に襲いかかるバジュラ。生と死が交錯する戦場で人々の思いが空をかける。次回マザーズララバイ悠久の歌銀河に響け。
Yeah. So, what is the galaxy up to? By the galaxy, I mean the fleet, not the actual galaxy.
That's a very good question.
Well, they got attacked. Did that actually happen?
Apparently it did.
Why?
Ah.
Not why did they get attacked, why do you say apparently it did?
I mean, apparently because they might be still around. So did they survive the attack? Didn't survive the attack?
No, I'm saying, did they actually even get attacked, is my question.
I think they did.
Because they're cyborgs and high technology cyborg types. So we've already seen Grace has been hacking information networks and everything. Not impossible, and they have holographic technology. They could have faked the entire goddamn thing. It's conceivable that they faked the whole thing, and they faked it 2 ships in their own fleet as well, so that the people who wouldn't be down for whatever their plan is would have forced to be evacuated.
No, but remember that they did try to save one of the ships, and they did fight Vajra there.
Right. The fact that they tried to save one of the ships doesn't automatically make it not what I just said, which is to say that they made it look like 2 other ships in their fleet, that they were under heavier attack than possibly what they actually were, to try and force them away, because these are the people that wouldn't be down for whatever they're trying to do. In which case, they already know where the Vajra are, considering what just happened here. Like, I don't think they would have set all this up not knowing the Vajra were there. So it's entirely possible that they could have found a way to sick some Vajra on their own ships.
That entails a level of control?
Not really. It entails knowing where they are at. You could conceivably herd the Vajra. You attack them in one location and either drive them towards something or have them chase you towards a thing. Again, we're at the level of conspiracy, I guess, where a lot of anything is possible given the technology that we're seeing. Again, True. They just giggled a planet. Or they're starting to. I mean, I don't know how far this goes, but they're starting to giggle a planet with no evident benefit.
Well, she did say about starting something, so I guess that would be inciting, trying to do this as an inciting incident.
Right, but the fact that we're guessing at what she's up to is what I'm talking about. There's no evident benefit. She's hinting at something, but we're so far separated from whatever she's hinted at. Well, I am. You're not, obviously. But yeah, don't smirk. You've seen the show.
What do you wanted me to do?
I know. It's just it's like you're taking it as a compliment. It's like, no, I'm not saying you figured it all out, you massive genius. Give yourself a pat on the back for this one. I'm saying you've seen the show. It's different when we both watch a show together and you say something. It's like, that's it. That's fucking it. And I'm like, that's the pat on the back moment.
Well, I wasn't patting myself on the back.
I know. You self-satisfyingly smirked, and it's like, that's not deserved. I'm just saying we're so far separated from the hint of what she's saying is happening and knowing what's actually in it. Obviously, nothing is in it for her. Like, she is a zealot to a cause that we have no idea about. Maybe connective tissues, the thing I said before, that it felt like that episode was invoking racism or non-forgiveness, that perhaps the galaxy is an element of that. And that
I know Centrati in the galaxy.
No, I'm not talking about the Centrati. Well, I'm talking about it as a theme. That episode built the theme. Humanity does not forget, humanity does not forgive. That sort of thing. And we're using the theme from that episode of racism or non-forgiveness to invoke that might be the larger theme going on here, that the galaxy is we don't need them, the fleet, you know? We, humanity, can be better on our own vis-a-vis cyborg, Borgification, whatever you want to call it, you know? And now we're striking back, because literally, what two targets did we just hit? Zentradi, which apparently we had this whole racist hard-on for, all of a sudden, despite we gave them their own Macross 5 fleet, whatever. We're separated on the higher up side. And the Vajra, two larger threats that appear to be happening right now. And who did that? A human-only fleet. Or representatives of a human-only fleet, assuming, again, that they represent the entire fleet.
Which is a big assumption.
I don't think it's a big assumption. I think it's the only assumption you could reasonably make right now. In that Stern isn't acting alone. We haven't seen him acting with other ships at the moment, or fighters at the moment, but when he first got into the fight with the Vajra battleship, many episodes back,
other fighters.
Yeah, he had a whole wing with him, and they traveled back to wherever he came from, which means there's a base, there's supplies, he's being reinforced. There's a whole sorry, my words. So there's a whole supply system built around him, supply and command system built around it, which itself cannot operate alone either. So one has to assume he's going back to the fleet, and not just some isolated base with a different connected network of whatever. And the fact that Grace is here operating, and then there's just too much that makes it not suggest, or sorry, there's too much here to suggest the Galaxy fleet and not something else. I don't know. Well, the problem is we started off with this episode, which means we're going to be going into 2 other episodes where I haven't had the time to collect my thoughts, make connections, do etc. Like, I know I missed some stuff in there, and not just like the pills thing. There's more to that pill thing that was happening that I just missed some text for, didn't realize what they were talking about, need to go back. Can't do that right now. So, yeah, there's a lot to investigate here, and my worry is that this is going to be a pivotal episode where the next 2 might hinge on, and then I'm going to be fucked.
Well, we're about to find out, and when we watch the next episodes.
Well, I'm trying to also give you time to do anything other than smirk at me with the knowledge. I know. Sorry. I know was for me, and then I was saying, I know. So to say that you're saying, I know, so I can't say anything. But you could still say something.
But what can I say that is not a spoiler? That's it. The problem is right now we're in very heavy spoiler territory because this is a significant turning point.
You could Socrates me. Socratic method? I'm asking questions. You could just ask questions at me. They don't have to be guiding questions. You can just help me out a little bit.
I mean, any question would be hinting of what I want to do.
You're not good at gaslighting is all I'm getting at here.
No,
you don't have to gaslight me, though. I'm just using it as the term. Like, for example, I watched Raz Afon, the earlier episodes with Griffin. And obviously I knew stuff from the early episodes. So it would be like, Griffin would ask a question. I was like, yeah, that's weird. What do you think that means? Still interacting. Still, I know a lot of stuff. But I'm able to guide a conversation.
Let's recap. Grace has always been the manager of
as far
Cheryl.
As we know.
Yeah. And she's the one who brought Cheryl over.
Oh, God. Sorry. I appreciate that you're trying to guide a conversation. Just had a thought. I know. Bad timing. Get on you for not talking. Interrupt you immediately. Sorry. This is just a thought I want to get out there so it's on the recording before I'll let you go. Keep on. Note to self. Double check the memory of Renka's mother. See for earrings. Keep going.
Okay. Because you're still on that theory.
Yes. And it would be confirmation, yes or no. Well, it wouldn't be confirmation. She could have given the earrings at any point. Just double check.
Okay. So this series starts with Cheryl arriving in the frontier, right? And that's when all this stuff starts going places, right? So that means that whatever this plan was, whatever plan story, she knew about it.
Well, this goes to a previous thing that you said, which was, can you guide the Vajra or whatever? And you're saying that everything started the moment that Cheryl got on the frontier. And if the indication therein is what's the first thing that happens when they board the frontier? The Vajra attack. So that would indicate that if that is part of a machination, then yes, you can guide the Vajra to places.
Remember also what's his name? Not Leon. Yeah, Leon. When he was giving the debriefing, what he said about the specimens that they had.
They have the same armor as the Valkyrie. Not the same armor. They have similar armor to the Valkyries. They can recreate items within themselves where their ammunition comes from. Sorry, my problem is that during that scene I was more focused on the fact that it got aggravated when the singing was happening as a connection between the singing and that. Also, I believe that is also when Renka's stomach glowed for the first time, which you didn't acknowledge.
I think that happened later, I think.
Happens during a concert. And
yeah, but not that one.
It was during a concert that the thing got aggravated which is when I was tying together the singing and the fact that the Seraname's singing affected nature, and the fact that it is having something to do with Vajra, because at the same time, in previous episodes, I had been saying that the Vajra were lured in by their singing, both Renka's and Sarah's, which is why I said that they were probably both Names.
So whatever's happening has been happening since the very beginning. If Grace has been behind all of this, but now that we see Grace essentially blew up herself, that means she's working with someone else. She's not the mastermind of everything. I mean, she literally disintegrated herself.
No, I'm not
interesting.
Not thinking about her. Not well. Here's the thing. I don't know. This goes back to previous conversations we've had about what can exist versus what we know exists. We don't know to what level the technology works here. Can she upload her mind? Is she what level of cybernetics exists? Can she have a second body somewhere? Could I be right that short-haired blue guy was Grace, just a different body?
That would be a ghost, not a ghost in the machine.
Well, Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell kind of situation.
Well, I mean, Ghost in the Shell is Ghost in the Machine. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, so I can't. But also, that would be future stuff.
But now,
so it wouldn't be able
we also know now that in that battleship, in the global battleship, they were actually at and were experimenting on Vajra.
Yeah.
And we also seen that.
Well, we don't know that they were experimenting on. I don't think that's 100% certain right now. We know they had them in a test tube, but well, Frontier, we had one in a test tube. We didn't do anything to it either. We just had it.
Yeah, but why would a ship that was, somewhere else would have this unless they got attacked by the Vajra and captured one and survived the attack?
Well, I mean, clearly they didn't, but I mean, they're in the same position as the Frontier is in now.
And one thing the mother says, the song is not from Earth.
Look, do you remember Love had a song not from Earth? Right. Also, the fact that we don't translate half of the lyrics of the song unless you go with my translation of the song, which is, take pictures of me.
So there's a lot going on, and the reason why I don't want to keep talking about it is because it's coming to a head right now. This episode and a couple of episodes, I don't think we're going to see the entirety mystery solved, but we're certainly going to have a turning point.
I should hope not. We still got 25. We're 25 episodes in, and we just watched 13, so we're past the halfway mark.
Yeah. 12 would have been, well, I guess it's in an even number.
12.5.
12.5, yeah. So, yeah. That's really, there's not a lot I can say without just telling you what happened, even if I do the Socratic method. By virtue of presenting questions to you, I'm trying to lead you into certain answers.
No. You just, you hear what I say, and what do I think I'm getting towards, right? If you're asking questions, and I'm...
Okay, so what do you think...
No, I'm saying if you were to ask questions, and I knew it was going to happen, one, I probably would gaslight you. I'm not going to pull that punch there. I would gaslight you just so I couldn't... Just so you would know that I would never be able... You would never be able to guess if I was telling you the truth or not. In that way, you'll never be certain whether I was actually telling you what was about to happen. But the idea of Socratic methoding me is more about helping me explore the path that I'm trying to go down than it is to tell me what's happening.
Okay, what do you right now? What is your current theory right now? With all the elements put together, what is your current?
Well, that's
theory?
what I'm saying. I don't actually know. That's what we were talking about before. That the distance between saying that Grace has a plan and knowing what she's been doing so far is so far between. There's so much distance between the two objects is that I can't get from point A to point B without a point, or I can't get from point A to point C without a point B in the middle. And I
we haven't
don't
had that.
have any solid point B. Right? I'm on a sinking boat. The shore is over there, and I can't swim. And I can't figure out anything between these two objects to get me over there. I know what you did. Over there is why you're doing it, and I can't get there. Not with the clues presented to me. You know, I've got like a jar of peanut butter.
Also, okay, there's also
spork.
another problem that I have is because even if I do say something, I might get it wrong.
Yeah.
Because there's two movies out there that change significant parts of what happens here.
Well, I'm saying don't tell me. Don't tell me stuff specifically, but
I might be remembering stuff from the movies to fill in the blanks of the stuff I don't remember from the series. So that's why I'm being also hesitant to say anything. Because they're like, oh, yeah, this is what happened. It's like, well, wait a minute, that didn't happen. Oh, because that happened in the movies. And I'm filling it using the information from the movies to fill in the blanks for what's happening in the series.
Well, yeah, you know, the ultimate rule is don't spoil, which is why I'm not asking you to tell me stuff. Like, if I ask a question, my first thing is don't tell me, right? So obviously, don't tell me. But if you can help guide with questions that don't tell me anything, you know, like, oh man,
it is not
Grace
easy.
blew herself up, so it's clearly she's a zealot for something. Well, why would she be a zealot for something? You know, obviously, I can't come up with questions that are already in my own head. So.
I will say the following. Clearly, her plan was to bring Cheryl here.
Well, I said that in my whole hour of notes.
The question is why?
Again, I don't know, because she planned to blow the planet up. Also, she planned for Cheryl to be somewhere close by, because her detonation point was just outside the base, where she intended for Cheryl to be sick in bed.
And possibly die in the explosion.
Yeah, so why have Cheryl die on a random back-ass water planet? Unless it's to frame the Zentradi for it, which goes back to my racism theory. If we want to ignite a war with the Zentradi again, blame them for killing the galaxy's #1 idol. Especially when she is then... This all makes sense. Especially when then she is trying to engage the rebel leader to restart the fight. And I mean, it's one of those moves that doesn't make any sense in hindsight. She's making her sick so that she'll stumble down the stairs, which will instantly instigate the rebellion to start. Oh no! She's a little bit light on her feet. You know, anything. Oh, how dare she be sick? What? Anyway, they were ready to go, but I guess if she was talking to that guy, she would use that as the instigating moment. So that's the only reason I can see there, is to kill her, to make them the fall guys, which then would have nothing to do with the Vajra. Why start a war with the Zentradi if you have anything to do with the Vajra? Why kidnap Ranka? Does she have a personal vendetta against the Names? Because she knows who Stern is. She's already threatened if you don't do this job right, you won't be able to get your past back. There's no connection point between the two plots. What could she possibly have to do with the Vajra that has anything to do with instigating a Zentradi war again? Also, it doesn't really make sense either now that I think about it. Because there's no organized Zentradi revolt force or anything like that. There are a bunch of rogue fleets. We've already gotten that from Macross 7. That they're
I mean,
rogue
they could
fleets that get killed on sight, essentially.
Yeah. Here, try to unify them.
Under pseudo Qualmsim's death. But that assumes that there's contact with other forces out there with which we've not been shown. Alright, well, my theory crafting here is just giving us tons of dead air, so I guess let's just...
Yeah.
I was hoping to get somewhere, but there's too many hanging threads.
Yeah, too many questions. Not enough answers.
Alright, well, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?